All right, we're live. Hey guys, Frank with Theule. Great to be with you this morning, coming to you live from my home, like always. And I am joined by Rick Theule. Did I get that right, Rick?
You got it right.
Okay, awesome. It's one of those last names that you just get worried to say it. But man, it's great to have you. For everyone that's joining us, we've been doing this show live for, I think this is week 3. And just talking to church leaders and pastors and volunteers that are all doing church from home, trying to pull out insights and stories and just kind of learn as a community. So it's been great to talk with a bunch of different people in some sort of leadership position at a church of all churches from all over the U.S. so far, and of all different sizes and types and shapes, and they're doing services in different ways. So it's been really cool. And I'm joined by Rick here, and Rick is the lead administrator for his church. And Rick, I'd love for you just to tell us a little bit about you and your church and where you guys are located, and maybe even how you got into your role. Give us a little bit of that backstory.
You bet. We're located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Church is about 450 to 500 members. So we see. On a normal, back when it was normal, service, you're gonna see 400 people, on a Sunday morning.
Right.
We've been in this location in existence since 1962. So
wow.
We are in a neighborhood. We are literally in the middle of a neighborhood that I grew up in. I have been a member of this church since birth.
And you're saying your parents live down the street, so obviously your parents have been there for a long time. And
yep, the joke we have in our family, at least my brothers and I, is that my parents' requirement for living was wherever they were going to live, they had to be able to walk to church. And
I'm sure there's lots of people that's the epitome of the local church right there, like right in the neighborhood. People walk right to it. That's
exactly, and it's still true. I now live 200 yards down the street. And I walk here. So
that's pretty good.
Most of it. So,
no, there's no electric scooters going on to, bird scooter your way over to church.
That's been brought up. That's an idea. So, yep.
Love
what
it.
else about us? Me personally, I'm a lifelong member here. Grew up in this church. And about 2.5 years ago, started working here essentially full time. In a weird way, I went from doing our communications for about 5 hours a week, just on the side, and we had somebody retire. And at the time, our administrative team was, unbeknownst to me, crafting a plan to have a full-time administrator. Mm-hmm. And I filled in when our secretary retired. We needed somebody suddenly just to, do a couple of things.
Right.
Yeah. And I was down the street. I was working from home at the time with my regular job, and said, hey, I'll fill in until we figure something out. Yeah. And I haven't left. So, and it went
and here you are.
Yeah, exactly. Went from filling in to 30, 35 hours a week. And now for the last, since the beginning of March, it's been 50, 60 hours a week.
Yeah. Let's just jump into that. So, you're the church administrator, which is like a fairly like generic term. And in conversation, sounds like you do quite a bit. You're kind of some IT stuff, some web stuff, like all your communications. You're even involved in some, maybe not doing the AV, but kind of like the AV update that's happening in the sanctuary. You're kind of mixed into that plan. Like you're all over the place, even finance and things like that. So what's it been like for you, who kind of is helping the church in a lot of different ways, going from meeting in the building in person to the church online world? Like, when did you guys do your first online service, and what was that like?
Yeah, it really, like for most churches, went from your normal, here's what happens every week, and you're in this rhythm that, okay, Sunday's going to show up, and after Sunday we start over again, and we get ready for Sunday again. And it immediately turned into, oh, now what? I came back from vacation on March 7. Off the cruise ship, actually.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, we had our last in-person service on Sunday, March 8th. And then it turned into, by that Wednesday or Thursday, it was, uh-oh, we can't meet anymore. Now what do we do?
And were
And
you streaming or online at all
we were
before?
not streaming, recording anything at the time. We were literally 2 weeks away from having a significant upgrade to our IT systems and our AV booth in place. The plan was to do our first real publicized live stream on Easter.
Okay.
And
Got
we
it.
were going
So
to
you're
do
marching.
we were going to do a dry run on Palm Sunday, and we were that close to being ready. The last component of our IT upgrade was the AV booth, and that came to a grinding halt. So it was, now what do we do? And that first Sunday, we didn't do anything because we didn't know what to do.
No service.
We did not have a service for people to watch live or recorded. We sent out a lot of material by email and by mail for that first Sunday. I think it was like the 15th. And then by the next week, it was, okay, we're going to record. We got to figure out how to do that. And we've been recording and uploading to YouTube since then.
Okay. So you come into the sanctuary, you have like a skeleton crew that comes in, and do you record everything? Is it worship, prayer, the lesson, like all the elements of a normal service?
Pretty much. And if we did it all at once, it would probably make life easier, but we'd have too many people in the building.
Right.
So what we've done is on a Monday evening, we've had our worship team come in and do recordings for any music that we want to do. And like this past Monday, they were here for 4 hours. And so we had 7, 8 people in the building, and, they recorded. And now on every Wednesday, what we do is we have our pastor comes in and does his sermon. We record that. Any prayers, any litanies that we're going to do, we record at the same time. And then we've got somebody, thankfully not me, who is editing and putting it all together, so that by Sunday morning we've got a service to share with people.
Yeah, the part of the AV that you're not involved in, the actual producing of the service.
Exactly. I could do it, but thankfully I don't have to. We've got some volunteers that are actually, have stepped up and said, we'll take care of this part. Folks that have always run our AV, and they know what's going on with the soundboard and the cameras, and Yeah,
no, that's awesome. And this is perfect, just like doing things from home. I had a child just show up.
There you go. Yeah,
you guys can see him over there.
Exactly.
So no, that's super cool. Just that that you guys figured it out. So service 1, nothing happened. You got it down. Service 2, and then in your role, like, how have you kind of grown week by week with your production, the live stream, and even all the other communication, like posting on social media, emails, just like we were talking about, like keeping all the plates spinning, not dropping any balls, getting the right link in the newsletter or the right, like, how do you handle the production in a sense of all the other elements of what happens for the communication plan and tech and all those kind of things?
Yeah. Communication plan. Yeah. I like that idea.
You're like, here's my notebook. I wrote it down.
Word plan being the key there. It went from, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to serve people now that we've got some things in place? And we said, okay, we're going to do this recording for Sunday worship. What else are we going to do? And we've gotten to the point where we have a daily devotional going out at 6:15 every morning that we had never done before. And we have 3 or 4 people that are contributing to that. Thankfully, I've got one of our pastors has taken charge of getting the content together, and then he passes it along to me so that I have something to schedule in MailChimp that'll go out to our congregation.
Okay. That's cool. So every day, like, pause for a second. So every day you guys kind of, said, okay, we want to touch base with the congregation every day. We're going to do it via email. We're going to have a daily devotion that one of the pastors puts together. You get an email and send it out. And then are you seeing any good like results? Are you seeing people opening, watching, or reading? I don't know what kind of, is it
Yeah,
video, audio, written?
it's interesting because as a kind of a numbers nerd, yeah, I watch MailChimp and I see, okay, who's opening this? How many people are opening it? Are percentages staying the same? Are they going up? Are they going down? Out of, I don't know how many people are on that list right now, but we're seeing a 60-65% open rate, which we're
Really
ecstatic
good.
about.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, we're sending it to people who said, yes, I do want it. But still,
as email should work, right? So that's
yep,
good.
yep, exactly. And that has run very smoothly. We're starting to add in a couple of other people writing some of the devotionals just so we can have a larger group of people doing it. But I think it's something we've gotten to the point now where we've done this for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, that we'll probably continue.
Right.
Even if and when we come back together as a full congregation, we don't see a reason why not to continue it, because people have really enjoyed it. Not just because they don't have any other connection at this point, but just because it's a really nice way, and what has been written has been very, very good. And thankfully, we've got more than one person doing it. If one person was doing it, they'd get burned out very quickly trying to put something out there. We do it Monday through Friday, and that would just, that would be a little overwhelming. But the only hiccup we've seen is when somebody, schedules the email to go out and puts PM instead of AM.
Oh, yes. Speaking of all of the things that have to happen.
Yep. Exactly.
Look, I guess you get a few mulligans in this world that we live in now when it's all new. But that's cool. I love how you guys added this new element that you weren't doing, and you're finding like, oh, wow, this is really working. And it's actually, in a lot of ways, one of the most simple things that a church could do. We're going to start a daily devotional newsletter to our members, and we're just going to make that part of what we do. And it's working, and if this didn't happen, you guys may have never got to that point, because maybe you wouldn't see the reason or the value, because you're kind of seeing people more often and you're interacting that way. But somebody was like, man, we're not seeing people. We gotta connect. Let's use email. Love that.
And the thought of, well, there's 4,000 other things out there they could use. Why do we need to do one?
Right.
Well, now we see the validity in that. So
it's home, right? It's like, there's something to that. It's people's home. Like, you literally grew up there. Your parents have been there forever.
Yep.
There's the personal connection that's bigger than all the other things that are out there. So
exactly.
So love that. I hope people, if you're watching live or recorded, I'd love to know if you're doing any kind of newsletter, like a daily devotional. I know another church, a local church here in San Diego, they're doing a daily devotional, but they use push notifications in the Theule church app. So every day, push notification comes. I'm actually have their app on my phone, so I get it every morning at 6:30. I think that's a creative idea. People are publishing them to their website. So if you're doing any kind of newsletter, push notification, like daily devotional kind of thing, or daily content, and you're watching, I'd love to know about it. Like, pop it in the comments. Let us know what you're doing. So Rick, how are you managing the production of all this? Like, what have you learned in 7 weeks about how to kind of stay on top of it, make sure it's AM, not PM, make sure it's the right link, make sure it's on the right, not my personal Facebook page, but the church, just all the little things that come along with like the stress of getting it right.
Yeah. And really, I think we're pretty much, we've gotten in a pattern, but we're almost still flying by the seat of our pants. And I've talked to some other folks, and they kind of still feel the same way. And it's like, okay, have I written down what we're doing? Have I put it on a calendar so I don't miss something?
Right.
We get prayer requests that come in, and one of my big things has always been, I don't want to inundate people with email, because I hate it myself. I don't need 3 emails a day from the same place. So
but you're like, I'll send you one every day.
How do we work that in and still keep people updated? And and so it's been a matter of, okay, we're going to try to narrow it down as much as possible. And even if somebody sends me something, they say, we need to get this out. If it's a Sunday at 11 o'clock and we've already had our service. Whatever was emailed to the congregation for that service has already been sent out. Yeah, I'm not going to send it out until Monday night.
Right.
And make an attempt to try to get multiple pieces of information together. So I'm not sending multiple emails with one thing in it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's smart,
that,
right? I mean, and you're actually doing it daily. So the opportunity is still very high. Like it's happening daily. You can get a lot in, even if you miss something, because it's coming the next morning. It's not like they're waiting a week for the next newsletter or a monthly newsletter where it's like, oh, you missed the boat. So, but I think having like a standard way to produce this thing, like you get all the content by, 10 a.m. Or whatever by noon, and then it goes out at whatever it sounds like you send them in the evenings. But having that is smart.
Yeah. Another part is, and we've been talking about this for last week, driving people, members specifically, to our webpage. Instead of me sending an email out constantly, they can go to a page on our website to get that content, knowing they can just go there.
Right.
And instead of including everything in that one per day email, just make sure you include a link. Here's more information that we are updating continually on our website. Just go there.
Right.
And we're getting to the point where we're going to push people to do that too. So
yeah, smart. I mean, website is a hub, right? People are you embedding your live stream or doing anything like that on your website, or are you sending people to YouTube?
We just send people right to YouTube.
Got it.
Simply because we didn't know what we're doing when it started. And
totally. Again, most people figuring it out on the fly.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where when I started in this position, I had a list of things that, okay, these are the things we need to look at that I want to do.
Right.
And we'll get to them. This whole crisis goes into play, and hey, we got to do it now.
Right.
And some of that has turned into, okay, we've gotten to this point where we're recording. Now, how can we make it more accessible? So,
yeah. Work in progress. I mean, we launched a product. We launched our church website product actually this week, kind of officially. Yeah. And in all of this, as part of our response, we're like, oh man, churches are all going online and they're all trying to figure it out. So we built this cool new feature where you can host your church online right on your website, and you can like plug in your YouTube feed, but it's got comments and Bible and prayer requests and other things, and then all your recording. So it can all happen in this like online hub, and you get people onto your website. But it's kind of that same concept of like everyone's responding to what's happening. So everyone's going to Facebook or YouTube. But what we've heard a lot of from churches that are maybe a little bit further ahead is they're like, man, if you can get them onto your website where you control the environment that they're in, there's no ads, there's no social news feeds, there's no other stuff, but they can be right there. And we've seen a lot of good stuff going on there. Yeah,
there's 4 million people logging in at the same time on Facebook, and it's not working.
Totally. So I mean, I think Facebook, everyone got slammed, so I'm sure everyone's gotten better.
And you guys too. I mean, I saw at one point that you had like onboarded like 8,000 new churches in like a 2-week period of time, and it's like that's nuts.
It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Yeah, we eight probably close to 10,000 now in the last 45 days. Since this thing hit. So it has been crazy. Churches are scrambling, whether it's their website or their live streaming or their giving or their email newsletter or their app or whatever it is. Like everyone's in the same boat. That's kind of why I like having these conversations, because we might be at different places, but we're all in the same kind of overall boat. Like, how do we do church online well? Every church is trying to figure it out.
And like for us, we're moving our church management system over to Theule. And that was another thing that I was right at the point of starting to do.
In the middle.
Stopped for 8 weeks. So next week I'm diving back in again. Yeah,
kick it back up now that you're kind of got your breath, right? Got your legs underneath you. And do you help, just maybe in wrapping up here, do you also work on the finance side of things? Do you pay attention to kind of giving and how giving is going through the move to church online? Like, what has that been like for you guys?
Yeah, it was, as for everybody, significant worry. What's going to happen with giving? What do we
Yeah.
do? And it took a couple weeks, but we have now seen our online giving increase by probably 60%.
Wow.
And we have, we have a generally our congregation skews to the 60 and older side. Just a significant number of people,
Yeah.
and they've had to learn how to use the mail again. Put a
Totally.
stamp on an envelope and put it in the mail.
And you're getting mail-in gifts. Like your people are actually
Exactly. I
mailing in.
love going to the mailbox right now.
Yeah.
You go to the mailbox and hey, it's full of checks. Yeah.
Oh man. But that said, because I hear that there's always going to be in most churches, especially churches that are skewing older, I think check giving's for sure never going away. But you're also seeing an uptick in online giving through
Yeah.
this time.
Yep.
Are you guys promoting it in service, like during the recording? Hey guys, make sure you know about online giving, kind of thing.
We at this point have not said anything other than we're putting a slide up at the end of the service just
Got it.
to remind people here are the ways you can give.
Yeah.
And saying, yeah, here's the online giving. You can definitely put something in the mail reminding them not to put cash in the envelope. We had
Right.
that a couple times. So yeah.
Yeah. No, very cool. Well, man, this has been awesome, Rick. Thanks for spending some time with us. Where can folks go to check out your website and just kind of watch your live stream and what you guys are doing there?
Yeah, easiest way to find our live stream is to go to YouTube and look for Covenant Church Grand Rapids.
Covenant Church Grand Rapids on YouTube. That's the way to do it.
Yep. There is a link on our website, which is covenant-crc.org. And there is a link on there as well. So
yeah, love it. Well, Rick, thanks for spending some time today. If you're tuning in live, we're always trying to encourage engagement. So post your church website, your live stream, get it in the comments so we can check things out, learn from each other. And if you're watching this recorded, same thing, post it in the comments. We're always coming back and engaging there. So we'd love to hear from you. We will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, give or take. Sometimes it starts a little later, but right around that time. And, just talking to church leaders about what's going on, how we're doing church online, and kind of rallying together to learn from each other. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Rick, again, thanks for joining us. Best of luck as you get back to golfing out there, and hopefully they start to open things up soon.
Yep. Good deal. Thanks, Frank.
All right. Have a good one.